Many of you have worked in iPlan before, so we want to do one video on the similarities and differences between the program that our friends at Fortel have developed and what we've kind of developed internally here. We'll get right to the point. Similarities and differences. So both of these apps, programs, platforms, pieces of software provide a vehicle for creating line items in the database. They're linking photos to those assets. They are prompting for additional photos in addition to your asset photos, your systemic or photo log type photos. Both of them work offline, which is great, and both of them have a lot of slick features that help you capitalize on duplicating, deleting, and editing things over and over and things in batches. So there are more similarities than that, but we'll stop there for the purposes of this. Some differences in the way these work. iPlan does have a total sync process where you're pushing and pulling data back and forth, zapping it to and from the mothership, so to speak. ACgo pushes it one way. We've spoken on that enough in the previous video. Let me jump back up here to the item I skipped. A really cool thing about iPlan's platform is there's one-stop shopping for the entire deliverable. The text, the cost items, and the photos all reside in this single place. Unfortunately, on our ACgo side, we don't have any way to produce or modify the text yet, really. So it's in our vision, it's in our roadmap, but as far as iteratively getting something out there that's helpful, we just did not have the time or resources to tackle that on the first phase of development. So you got to put up with that manual text for the time being. iPlan also can save the photos that you take within the app to the iOS camera roll. And unfortunately, the folks at Apple decided they didn't want that. So they don't allow the photos taken in ACgo to get pushed to the general camera roll, which bums us out, but it's not a game breaker and a deal breaker, and we can live with it. We figured out ways around it. Just know that any photo you take within the app is not going on the camera roll. iPlan kind of encourages this templated asset workflow. We just spoke on that at the end of the last video. We give you the list of the most popular items within a building. It's up to you to edit, find, and delete those items. ACgo, more and more, we're digging this building the building up in little pieces idea. Fortel's software does allow you to update the software mid-data entry, mid-project. FileMaker does not allow you to do that. Not a big deal, really. You're not working on a data file for usually more than 1 or 2 days at a time. The app is mature enough that there's nothing in there that's totally going to ruin what you're doing. So you got to do your updates kind of building by building afterwards. So you just can't update the software when you've started. The way the Fortel software work is you do kind of have to do all your work on the iPad. Cool thing about ACCalc and ACGo, you can work either on the iPad or the computer. And you want to work on the iPad first, computer second, but at any point in the process, you can stop on the iPad and start on ACCalc. In fact, you can still not use ACCalc at all and still do it old school way, totally with pen and paper, if situations dictated. Interface, Fortel's interface, kind of very basic and functional, gets the job done. We've heard some feedback that EMG's app may be a little bit more of a user friendly, enjoyable, intuitive experience. The iPlan works very well with standard FCAs where the scope isn't straying or there aren't a whole lot of wrinkles to it. It's pretty rock solid. ACCalc really shines with heavy inventory type projects. It's really, really good at it. Target was the prime example, kind of the origin of this. And Lastly, iPlan probably more mature, bigger team working on it, been around longer, kind of more mature kind of feel. Uh, ACgo probably a little bit more agile and customizable. Okay, enough on iPlan and ACgo.